Omarion Hampton, future Bronco, potentially. Mock drafts seem to be trending that way. Broncos do need a running back. I'm Henry Chisholm. That is Andre Simone. And before we give our thoughts, we are throwing it to our draft expert, Fran Duffy.
All right, let's now take a look at UNC running back Omarion Hampton. This guy's built like a brick house. 6 foot, over 220 pounds, was a 4-star recruit, Gatorade Player of the Year coming out of North Carolina. And this is a guy that's been a foundation back the last 2 seasons for the Tar Heels. A little bit of a different vibe with the 2 versions of the offense. Obviously, in 2023, you've got Drake May. Everything's going through the passing game. This year, Hampton became more of the focal point. Now, what I like about Hampton's game, he's got the ability to mostly shotgun runs, with that offense, but you did see some under center looks, some gap scheme downhill. His superpower, though, his ability, he is a physical runner, and to win with play strength. There are some guys that are really strong where defenders are going to bounce off them on contact. Then there are other guys that are really powerful where they're going to lower their shoulder and they're going to move piles. They're going to move defenders when they hit the line of scrimmage. Hampton is both. He's one of the rare guys that has both strength and power. He's got some straight line juice. He's not just a plotter between the tackles. He can create some breakaway plays. But when you're looking at him, he's got a full 3-down skill set. I love his vision and his decisiveness. When he sees the hole, he goes. You see that short area burst show up there. I think when you're looking at him as well, really soft hands, really good underneath, outstanding middle screens in that offense where they were able to get him the ball fast and let him work in space. But you saw it wasn't a lot of downfield throws, not as many throws vertically as you saw with like an Ashton Genty going back to 2023. But I think when you're looking at Hampton, he's got a 3-down skill set. I talk about the vision. The contact balance is outrageous. Some of the numbers aren't as impressive as Genty, who is like otherworldly in terms of playing through contact, but 74% of Hampton's yards came after contact this year. That's a crazy high number. He's one of those backs where if he gets hit behind the line of scrimmage, he can still pick up 2 yards, right? There's a lot of the hidden yardage with Omarion Hampton's game that's just going to make him a good fit in the NFL. I just felt so good about the floor, and the more and more I watch, I said, yeah, the ceiling is pretty high as well. Because honestly, when I'm looking at the negatives in his game, not a lot there. There's not a lot of red flags here with the skill set. He's got over 700 touches. That's an above average number. That's something, certainly, okay, there's some wear and tear there that you'll have to worry about. Maybe he's not as electric as, Jahmyr Gibbs or Alvin Kamara. He's not that type of player, but 4.46 in the 40-yard dash at 220 pounds, nothing to sneeze at. He's got the breakaway ability. I mentioned the strength and the power, the ability to get downhill. This guy looks like a foundation ball carrier every single day. When I watched him early on, he reminded me of David Montgomery when Montgomery was at Iowa State. Now, Montgomery fell to the 3rd or 4th round with the Chicago Bears. Hampton's obviously, he's going to go much earlier than that. I think Hampton's got a little bit more straight line juice than what Montgomery had. But I think that, like Montgomery, he's got the ability to be that foundation ball carrier, to be that guy that you can hand it to 20-plus times in a game, sometimes more than that, and you can run the offense through him, and the quarterback in the pass game can be the sidecar, and he can be the trailer that pull everything else along. So I think when you're looking at Hampton, 3-down skill set. Some people are going to say that he's better than Ashton Genty. I don't know if I'm quite there. Regardless, 2 really good running backs in this class. Omarion Hampton looks like a first-round pick all day long, can fit in any scheme. You feel really good about the high floor. I mentioned what the ceiling is as well in terms of the pass game, a 3-down skill set. With the run game being back in vogue in the NFL, Omarion Hampton, he should be set up for a starting role sooner rather than later.
Thank you, Fran, for the awesome breakdown. And if you want more awesome breakdowns, you can go to thednvr.com, view our draft guide. That's where Fran has broken down just about every prospect in the draft. There's like 200 of them in there.
This Omarion Hampton breakdown is really extensive, really impressive. It's the big need, Hank.
It is.
If he's around at 20, what say you?
I say I struggle with it, if I'm being honest. And I know he's a good running back, and I know it's what the Broncos need, but there's a part of me that thinks, why Omarion Hampton and not Quinshon Judkins? Or why not Travion Henderson? And Hampton probably does belong in front of those guys. So much in front of those guys to use the 20th pick on him, though, I'm not so sure.
That's where, because you watch the tape, it's exactly as Fran said. There's a lot. He checks off a lot of boxes, is a really safe prospect at the running back position. And then there's just a lot to not like. And you kind of talk yourself into his high end.
Yeah.
But then, it's like, as Fran mentions, doesn't have the juice of a Jahmyr Gibbs or an Alvin Kamara, which is fine.
Yep.
But we are looking for that Joker back.
Mm-hmm.
So would he kind of be second fiddle to that Joker back?
You would hope.
You would way hope. Those offenses have been designed. Yes. He should be the Mark Ingram to someone's Alvin Kamara, Reggie Bush.
And if he's Deuce McAllister, then that's great. Like that's a good pick, but it still wouldn't solve the problem of we need somebody who's quick back there who's going to go get a bunch of catches. Like, does that just mean Jaleel McLaughlin's still holding on to that role?
Right.
A role that he in part lost to Javonte on third downs last year as well.
Yeah, and I mean, he doesn't have the Genty juice, the Travion Henderson juice. Even Caleb Johnson, who runs a much slower 40 than him,
looks like,
in the Big Ten was way more of a home run hitter.
Yes.
Now, the long speed's actually just fine. And I mean, only Hampton and Quinshon Judkins are the only two guys running backs over 220 pounds to run into 4.4s. So, it's almost like I go back and forth of, am I nitpicking this guy that brings so much to the table? That reminds me so much of Joe Mixon at Oklahoma, minus the off-field stuff.
Yes.
I will say Mixon had a little more juice in the run game as a receiver.
Maybe he wasn't quite as big too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But similar.
Yeah, so it's like, boy, he's a really safe pick. I mean, you can just give him 15 plus touches a game from day one. He's ready. Broncos fans also will be a little gun shy. It's another UNC running back, another Tar Heel after the Javonte experiment going wrong. So you can really talk yourself in every which direction, which probably means we're overthinking this one.
Yeah, I you're probably right. To me, he reminds me of just like a bison. Like you line him back behind you and you just hand the ball off and that thing's going straight ahead. There's no like shiftiness. There's no wiggle. It's just there's the hole, go straight through the hole, and hopefully people bounce off of me. And I think it's the lack of like...
What was Fran saying? The cart and the horse? The cart
the
and the trailer? The sidecar and the trailer. Yep.
Yes. And that's why it's just... There's a lack of excitement in some ways when it's not the guy who's going to dance past you. And like you even when you have like a Ramondre Stevenson, we're talking ourselves into like the quick feet coming out of college, and it's like a little make you miss ability. And there's isn't as much make you miss, I don't think, with Omarion.
I really like his burst and acceleration.
Yes.
He just explodes.
Everything forward I love. And backward and stopping.
Really good downhill, really powerful. Yeah, you're right. There are times, especially as a mostly shotgun runner, where I'm not necessarily seeing the creativity on like going to attacking the backside. And the one time he does look like a big back is if he's kind of stopped at the line of scrimmage. He doesn't have that same ability of then like stop and start that Agenti has, which is, I mean, revolutionary what he's got going on. I don't know. He also probably has a little more juice than we give him credit for.
True. I mean, we've seen the long runs.
Like there are long runs when you put on the FSU or the Miami tape, and those are some of the most talented defenses he would have faced.
And there's some stiff arms in there. He'll brush a guy off.
Yeah, and in the passing game, you like what he brings to the table. He does have good hands. Pass pro, I think you can still develop him, but he's got the size and stuff. Like, yeah, again, we just did it in this brief conversation. We've gone full circle.
Yep,
you know,
we have.
He's a tough one. Where I come back to it, though, is if Sean Payton believes in him, if Sean Payton signs off, good enough for me, I'll be pretty excited about what he can bring to the Broncos offense.
Yep. And you just hope that, because he's not Derrick Henry big, but you're hoping like ceiling is something along those lines almost, where it's you send him forward and he is just a guaranteed 3-4 yards with the juice to break a big one. And what you don't want, or what I don't want, is that kind of Najee Harris type, where it's like, yes, you're big and plodding, but he should at least have a step more juice than that, and the ability to hit a couple more big ones.
If he has Joe Mixon's career and you selected him 20th overall, you happy?
No. I'm
Really?
I'm still a little disappointed. Again, it's a first round running back in this class. Yeah. Like I think there are multiple backs will be taken on day 2 who will have similar to Joe Mixon's career,
and who are maybe more intriguing in a Sean Payton offense.
I would agree.
Yeah.
I would agree.
Yep.
Not to rain on anybody's parade, because this, I will say, this does feel like what's going to happen. The vibes are that way.
Super safe prospect, super safe running back.
Solves your biggest need.
Yeah.
Should be there. Should be there at 20. So we'll see. And again, one more time, since this has been kind
in
of
the
a
open
negative
field,
breakdown.
I like his
more.
creativity as a runner.
Totally.
I do. And the burst is there, the versatility in the passing game. There's a lot to like about this kid. No
he's
doubt
big
about
and he's
it.
fast. And he's productive.
Yep,
So
100%.
there's Omarion Hampton, as we all know. We've got more breakdowns over at our YouTube channel at DNVR on YouTube. Yes.
Oh,
the
there you go.
DNVR. See,
There you
that's how I
go,
got
yeah.
screwed up. Watch all those. Read Fran's draft guide. And make sure you stay tuned because we are talking draft for the next month leading up to
Damn straight.
the Broncos' first pick. See you then.